Strangely, St. Paul says very little about Barnabas in his letters. There's a suggestion that Barnabas shared with him in practicing their secular trade in order to be self-supporting at Corinth. There's an astonishing reference to Barnabas siding with the Judaizing party at Jerusalem, which would have kept Christians as a small Jewish sect. But in fact, we learn a great deal more about Barnabas from the Acts of the Apostles, one of the books written by Luke. And there we learn what an astonishing person he was. A Levite, a native of Cyprus. He joined the initial Christian commune, selling his home, his estate in Cyprus, and putting all the money into the kitty which financed that fellowship of people and enabled them to devote their time to proclaiming the good news of Christ. It was Barnabas who linked up the disciples at Antioch with those at Jerusalem. And it was Barnabas who recognized the true nature of Saul of Tarsus and his conversion, and who enabled him to be accepted by the apostles and elders, by the church in Jerusalem. And when Saul had apparently retired to his native city of Tarsus, it was Barnabas who went there to seek him out and bring him back to Antioch to be a leader of the Christians there. I wonder whether it was Barnabas who suggested that it would be a good idea for Saul to use his Latin name, the Latin name that he had as being born a Roman citizen in the Roman colony of the city of Tarsus. I wonder too whether it was Barnabas himself who suggested the term Christians to be given to the followers of the way of Jesus of Nazareth at Antioch. And it was Barnabas, of course, with Saul, now called Paul, who was sent out on what we now regard as St. Paul's missionary journey. Reading between the lines, it looks as if Barnabas was considered very much the leader of that enterprise. In at least one city, Barnabas was regarded as the incarnation of Zeus, the greatest of the pagan gods, and Paul, the chatterer, the speaker, simply as Hermes, the messenger of the gods. Nevertheless, it was a break between Paul and Barnabas that happened a while later when Paul was being sent out on his second journey, because Barnabas wanted to take with them Mark, who had left them halfway through their first journey together. Mark was, of course, Barnabas's nephew, and Barnabas, when Paul went off on his second missionary journey, Barnabas took Mark with him back to Cyprus. I wonder what he did there. I wonder if, although he had no home there anymore, he'd sold it. But I wonder what he did there, and how it came about that Mark, as the very strong tradition tells us, found his way to Rome, where eventually he compiled the first of the Gospels, the Gospel which we know by his name, Mark, today. We hear no more about Barnabas. He retired to Cyprus. We hear no more about him, but we know a great deal about him simply from those facts that I've just enumerated with you. The name Barnabas, of course, was not his own name. He was Joseph, and I expect there were so many Josephs among the first Christians that when he began to be prominent, the apostles thought it would be a good idea to give him another name, so they gave him the name Barnabas. Mac cheer up, perhaps, son of encouragement, and that was the name by which Luke records all that he had, as I've just spoken of. So Barnabas is an inspiration and we count him as an apostle because of the great work that he did for the church. And he remains an inspiration to this day. I can quote, for example, the College of St. Barnabas that exists in Surrey, or at the far end of Surrey at Lingfield. It's called the College of St. Barnabas, but what it really is a retirement home for clergy, their spouses and their widows. And now that the official agencies of the Church of England have ceased to provide nursing care for retired clergy, they used to do it at Mannermead and Hindhead. They do it for the last couple of years. They've shut down that facility and do it no more. The College of St. Barnabas is a great place which provides nursing care and indeed end-of-life care for the clergy. So the name Barnabas remains with us. The name Barnabas remains, as I've suggested, an inspiration and one that through the ages we will continue to regard with honour and with love as one of those who began and gave a wonderful momentum to and a wonderful meaning to the Christian mission in the world, and we pray taking us on to heaven.